Hey, so I wanted to share a little bit more on my journey of abundance and some things that I've learned about mind management. So, as we've discussed in previous videos, right, bringing things from the unmanifest realm, from our thoughts, from our desirous realm into the material realm is a process. So, with that process comes certain steps that are pretty much required for you to take. Right? So we think of the thing, we don't attach time or the way how it comes about in our heads, except that it's in the, best situation for all. And then we let it go and we allow it to come to us. We set up our environment so then our sphere of availability becomes kind of like a threshold for that desire to come through. Right? And then we just let it happen. Well, here's something that I've been learning a lot about that I wanted to share when it comes to the mind and manifestations. So, what is destined to be ours will come to be. If we have been trying to manifest something for a really long time and it hasn't taken place, maybe we need to redirect our focus. And I know you don't like to hear that, but hear me out. So, for example, I put out a manifestation that I wanted $12 million, right? I wanted $12 million. That's what I want. And I planted my seed, gave it water. I was journaling every day. I was trying to set up my environment. And every time I would think I was getting close, I would get scammed or like something would happen and it just wouldn't work out. But all of these situations that stood in my way actually taught me that it wasn't really the 12 million that I wanted. I actually just wanted freedom. I didn't want to work for money anymore. I wanted to have my own time to be able to fully live out my satanas without needing to worry about this job. I wanted to travel. I wanted to live the life I wanted to live and not feel restricted by money. When that came about, I realized that it was less about the material possession of money, but the possession that my mind had on all of my material reality. Now, what the hell does that mean? So, when going through this process, there's a mental checklist that perhaps you should bring yourself through, that every manifestation coach is going to tell you to do. Okay, but they're not really going to give you too much detail because a lot of people don't really think about this too much. So one of the things is practicing patience and forgiveness. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting that someone did some shit or pretending that it doesn't have an effect on you. No, not at all. It's reaching a state where it no longer is reactive, where you are no longer reacting to that situation anymore. Because when you react to a situation, you are giving into the condition of that situation. So that's how they say when you don't forgive, you end up being emotionally chained to that person or to that situation. You are acting within the same condition that you were put in. So forgiveness instead is actually taking yourself out of that conditioning so it no longer has an effect on you. So I was wronged, right? I had someone do some real shitty shit to me a couple of times, right? And I forgave them because I recognized that they are not in the same place that I am. There is no self-reflection going on there. There is only a reactive situation going on there. And I don't need to place myself in that environment. And that environment now no longer has an effect on me. Really, it doesn't. In fact, it's not even in my daily life, right? There's like a wall there now that exists, like a barrier. This is what happens when forgiveness takes place, because the reactive element of that condition can no longer bounce off of you and get that reaction, get that same condition anymore. Instead, it has to cease to exist or change. So patience and forgiveness is a really, really big step in taking when you are manifesting something. Even if it has nothing to do with what you are forgiving, do that. Because it helps to clear up the foggy mirror of your mind. A little note on your mind that I've learned as well. Your mind is a portal between the transcendental realm and the material realm. Most of our issues stem because we are only directing that portal, that is the mind, towards the material realm. We need to redirect it towards the transcendental realm, which means we need to clean up the foggy space that we have that was accumulated by staring so much at the material realm in order to actually see the transcendental, to see what we are destined to do and have. So, another thing to practice is purity of the mind. That doesn't mean remaining abstinent. That doesn't mean I can never smoke weed again. No. It actually has a lot to do with possession. So you may not be one that steals from the grocery store. Maybe you are. Maybe you don't physically steal items. But say you pass a really beautiful flower and you pick it because you think to possess it. That's something to work on restraining, because that breeds competitiveness, greed, and envy. When I'm looking at someone and I see that they have an item that I want but I don't necessarily need, my mind mentally attaches to that item and tries to possess it. That is an attachment to the material realm that is unnecessary and fogs up my glass. It fogs up my mind. It fogs up all of my manifestations because my focus then is directed towards something else. And that's when I start asking for millions of dollars instead of what I really want. And shit doesn't work out how I want it to work. And I'm like, man, I'm doing all these steps. What the hell? It's because this step is crucial. Rid yourself of the mental possession factor. Work on restraining that. Appreciate the nice things that you see, but don't become possessed by them. Don't feel like you have to have them. Instead, appreciate them and let them go. Appreciate the flower on the side of the road, but don't pick it. Let it keep growing. That brings you into a more clearer state, and you don't find yourself attached to so many things that you don't need, which includes the emotional baggage that comes with that. And third and foremost is being particular with your words. Become adaptable. In every situation, there's a story of a king, okay? And he hired an astrologer to look at his birth chart. The first astrologer said, shit, dude. You are your whole community is gonna die and you're gonna be the only one left alive. That fucking sucks, bro. Like, did you kill them? What the fuck? Like, that's gonna be your whole life right there. Everyone is gonna die around you. Your kids, your wife, your community, and you're gonna be the only one left. What the hell? And the king's like, fuck you, get into the dungeon. And so he sends him to the dungeon. Another astrologer comes. The astrologer says, man, I don't know what that guy was saying, but you have a very auspicious chart. You got a lot of vitality here. You're gonna outlive a lot of people in your life. But you're gonna have like harmonious relationships and stuff like that, however you choose to have these relationships, but you are gonna live a very long life and you're gonna outlive your kids and a lot of people in the community and stuff. So choose your time wisely and it's gonna be beautiful. And the king was like, oh, that's great. Both of the astrologers said the same thing, but one of them was more appropriate to the situation. Become adaptable to a situation, become adaptable to a community. You don't have to agree with everything that they're saying. You just can present it in a way that can come across in a more harmonious nature. That removes a lot of aggression from your mind and a lot of negative attachments, again, from your mind that clouds your vision as to what you actually need or want. So while you are planting the seeds to your manifestation, right? While these things are coming into fruition, focus on mind management, on these three things, right? Forgiveness and patience, right? Which is non-reactiveness and all of that. Non-possessiveness, and then being adaptable. Do that and let me know if some of your manifestations have changed. If during that time you were like, whoa, I just had a negative response to this situation here because I was acting in possessiveness. And so I tried making this manifestation. No wonder it hasn't been working, because this is actually what I really want, right? I noticed, just a quick side note, right? Last night I was reflecting on this, and I noticed that I had, that every job that I have had, right? And the job that I have, even though it's highly stressful at times, I've always been in a situation where I can at least take an hour or two to meditate. Maybe not always at the job, but I'll have days off, or I'll even have 15 minutes during that shift because I have good relationships with my coworkers where I can take some time to meditate, always, because that was a priority. That's what I needed. So even within my jobs, being within the workforce, working for money, I was able to accumulate freedom because that's what I actually needed. I just wasn't aware of it because my mind was getting so foggy with what I thought I needed. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. That I wasn't focusing on the freedoms that I already had, that I could call upon at any moment. So practice these states as you are manifesting, and see how much more freedom you actually have when you are attaching less to the material realm and you're directing that portal of the mind to the more transcendental. I hope this helped. I hope this made sense, and I hope you share some of your experiences. That would be great. And many blessings on your journeys. Bye.